quiet tide the wind from the sea always brought with it the smell of salt and memories. For Arkady, a 67-year-old widower and former librarian, it was not just a smell, but an invisible accompaniment to his days in this quiet coastal town. Every morning began with a cup of tea on the veranda, where he watched the waves roll inexorably onto the shore, as if reminding him of the passage of time. Since the death of his wife, Elena, 6 years ago, his life has become like a well-organized but empty library, each book in its place, but without readers, without noise, without life. He filled his days with reading, tending to his small garden and taking long walks on the beach, collecting pebbles thrown up by the sea that never found their purpose. Object of affection, but in the last 3 years, another, invisible but tangible, presence had appeared in his life, his neighbor, Elena. She was 50 and an artist. Her house next door was always full of light, music, and the strange but pleasant smells of paints and canvases. Elena was a whirlwind of color and emotion, the complete opposite of his reserved, gray everyday life. She had a laugh like the sonorous sound of sea pebbles rolling over pebbles, and eyes that reflected the sky. Arkady fell in love with her slowly, imperceptibly for himself. At first, it was simply admiration for her energy, then respect for her talent, and later a deep, quiet feeling that he hid in the most secret corners of his soul. She often came to him for books that he recommended, or just for coffee to share, new ideas for paintings. For her, he was Arkady Petrovich, a wise, well-read, kind neighbor who always had good advice or an interesting story. He was her friend, her mentor, but never the object of romantic feelings. "Arkady Petrovich, you are as calm as these waves," she said once, looking at the sea from his veranda. He only smiled, feeling his heart clench with painful tenderness. He was calm, yes, but inside him a whole ocean of unspoken emotions was raging. Small moments, big feelings. Once Elena asked him to help her carry a large canvas to her studio. Despite the pain in his back, he happily agreed. When their hands accidentally touched, he felt an electric discharge, and she, it seems, did not notice anything, only thanked him with a bright smile. That touch, and her smile, stayed with him all day, warming him, but also reminding him of the gulf between their worlds. He often watched her from his kitchen window, working in the garden, laughing with friends who came to visit her. Sometimes he would see her sitting on the veranda, lost in thought, and he wanted to go over, hug her, tell her everything. But the words stuck in his throat. What right did he have? He was an old, tired man. What could he offer? She was the light, and he was the shadow. There is no such thing as loneliness, Arkady Petrovich, if you have books, she had said once, when he had confessed that he sometimes felt lonely. He nodded, but he knew that books could not replace the warmth of a human touch, the laughter shared with a loved one. His loneliness was not the absence of people, but the absence of that one person. Dignity and acceptance. He never tried to cross the line. His dignity would not allow him to. He understood that his feelings were his burden, his secret. He did not want to put her in an awkward position, did not want to destroy their friendship. It was a love that did not require an answer, only existence. Sometimes, when she came to him with another question about the history of art or the meaning of a word, he felt his heart fill with joy. These moments were more valuable to him than 1,000 words. He could be useful, he could be there. This was his little happiness point. One evening, when twilight was gathering over the sea, Elena brought him a small watercolor as a gift, a picture of his house at sunset. "You always receive me so warmly, Arkady Petrovich. This is for you," she said. He took the painting, his fingers trembling. It was his house, but it seemed brighter than it really was, as if illuminated by an inner light. And he understood. She saw the light in him, even if that light was only a reflection of her own kindness, wisdom, and hope. Over time, Arkady began to realize that unrequited love was not necessarily a tragedy. It could be a source of inspiration, a quiet joy. It made him take better care of himself, read more, be an interesting conversationalist. He wanted to be worthy of her friendship, her attention. That he accepted his age, his wrinkles, his fatigue. He understood that life does not end with loss, and that love, even unrequited, can be a driving force. He continued to collect pebbles on the beach, But now they seemed to him not just aimless, but part of a great, eternal cycle. Point one day, sitting on the veranda, he saw Alina painting in her yard. She was focused, her face radiating peace. He felt not pain, but a warm wave of tenderness. This is a beloved life, despite its indivisibility, had given him something important: the ability to feel, the ability to appreciate beauty, the ability to live. And in this was his quiet, hidden hope, the hope that even in the deepest loneliness one could find light if one looked at the world with eyes full of love. He was like that quiet tide that rolls relentlessly onto the shore, leaving behind invisible but deep traces.